Hi, nobodies. Um, it's me again, and my friend that won't go away. I've put all kinds of stuff on it. It's being stubborn. Damn, I got some gray going on there. Time to dye my hair. Um, so yesterday I didn't post because I just really didn't feel like anything really happened. So I was like, eh. So today I want to talk about crazy people. And I can talk about crazy people because I'm a crazy person. Uh, and how we think of things. Now, I cannot speak for every crazy person, but I do know this. Most crazy people apologize. They apologize for shit that isn't their fault. You know, oh God, my back is killing me. I'm sorry. We apologize for shit that we don't want to apologize for. You know, like if somebody throws a fit and we get mad and we yell back at them like they've already yelled at us, and say that instead of pulling into ourselves and beating ourselves up immediately, we fire back. We apologize for that because eventually we feel bad about that. We're like, I yelled at them. So we apologize, even if what we're apologizing for we feel completely justified in. We will apologize. Most people with mental health issues have this fear of rejection or abandonment. You know, just this people are going to leave me. People don't like me. I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy. You know, these are things that a person who's mentally ill deals with quite a bit. Now, not all people who have fear of rejection or abandonment issues will be clingy. I am not a clingy person because I was always raised to not wear out my welcome, you know, and give people space. And, you know, you can't always be around them, you know, and I've seen clingy people and it bugs me because I see the impact of it. That, you know, somebody basically saying, like, can I take a shit without you coming with me? You know, I mean, we all know somebody like that. And that person is mentally ill to a degree. Now, I'm not saying that they need medication, they need therapy. No, they just need to calm the fuck down. But I'm not hating on them. That's who they are. Um, when you deal with somebody who has that kind of issue, it's important how you talk to them. Um, because they're afraid of rejection or abandonment. They're afraid everybody's going to walk out on them. And they're used to it. They're used to people letting them down. So even when you slightly let somebody down, they go to that, oh, okay, I know what this is. I know what this is, just typical. You know, they go to a negative place. And one of the things I do when I go to that negative place, and I try to make sure I'm not overreacting. I try not to fly off the handle. And for the most part, I do a good job of that. But there are exceptions. You know, it's like holding my tongue. I can hold my tongue most of the time, but somebody keeps pushing, you know. I always feel like I'm being reasonable um, when I fly off the handle. I'm like, hey, I gave you this, you know, I gave you this amount of time. Um, with abandonment issues, it's important that you keep up. Like, if you start things out with they hear from you once a day, then that's what they expect. You know, Don't change that up, especially if you tell them something that scares them. You know, like if you say, well, I like you, but I need some space. You make sure that if you're sending them a text a day, keep sending that text a day, even if you don't feel like it, because that person is waiting for that. They want to make sure that everything's still okay. If they don't get that text that day, they might act irrationally to most people. They wait 2 days. That's them being reasonable, okay? Or if 36 hours goes by, that's them being reasonable. You know, like they'll put a well, you know, because the thing is, you know, when you're crazy, rational doesn't quite fit. And a person with abandonment issues, rejection issues, they require reassurance. Now, depending on the person, that's, you know, how much reassurance do they need? You know, some need a lot, some need just, you know, like I said, once a day, once every 2 days, once every 3 days, whatever your thing is. But if you're sending them, like if you're texting them all day long and then you just quit, they're not going to be very rational about that. Now, am I saying that they're right to be irrational? No. But if you want to get mad at them because they act irrationally, it's like, well, you know, you know they got issues. Don't poke the bear. You know, if you poke the bear and the bear takes a swipe, don't blame it completely on the bear. You poked the freaking bear. So like I said, if they hear from you a lot, at least a quick check-in of, hey, I haven't forgotten you. Everything's cool. We're cool. Whatever. Even if it's just, hi. You know, do not ignore a person who has abandonment or rejection issues. Do not. Because see, here's what happens. They're going to do what they do. Let me explain that. Some people threaten suicide. Some people go out and party. Like they get shit-faced drunk. They go do drugs. They self-harm. They gamble. They go on a spending spree. Everybody's got their own thing, but the fact is that they engage in self-destructive behavior. They act in a way that harms them. And maybe in doing that, they harm you. They might send you a scathing letter. Depending on the person, you know, they might tell you, hey, you know what? This is a good thing because you know what? You're a piece of shit. I can't stand you. I think, you know, they might lay into you about every little thing that they can pick apart about you. And yes, they're responsible for what they say and do. But you got to cut them a little slack if you knew from jump that they got this issue. And by not giving them at least the minimum effort. You know, if you go from maximum effort to no effort, that's a big shock for a person who's mentally ill and has these issues. Which, like I said, most people who are mentally ill feel those issues of people leave me. I'm not good enough. You know, and they'll turn that I'm not even worth how are you today? The fuck? You know? And it doesn't matter if they, because see, the thing is that person, they may want to ask you. And, you might be like, well, why didn't you just send me a text saying, how are you doing? You know? And they're going to be like, well, I didn't want to bug you. I didn't want to, because I mean, people with mental illnesses worry about pushing boundaries because we don't see boundaries a whole lot. So our boundaries are kind of strange. For instance, with myself, I will get upset that people never call me, but I never call them because I'm always afraid that I'm calling them at a bad time. So if it comes to, oh, I haven't heard from them today, maybe I should reach out. I'm like, well, there's probably a good reason that I haven't heard from them, and I'll just sit on it, because it's like, well, I'll just say back, if I don't hear from you, I don't want to send you like 10 texts because I thought of something to say, I mean, everybody's got their own individual issue. And if you know somebody who's got a mental issue, it behooves you and them to have a good discussion about it, to find out what hurts them. That way you don't do it. Like, if you want to be one of these people who's supportive of this person, if you're friends with them, if you're dating them, you want to make sure not to make these mistakes and really hurt them. And ask them, just flat out or straight up, ask them, hey, if things don't work out, what's the best way to end it? Because because really and truly, there's no good way to end things, but most of us recognize, well, I don't want to be strung along. Most of us recognize, I don't want to hear this whole, it's not you, it's me. We don't want to hear that. We know it's bullshit. And most of us have heard it enough. Now, for myself, I would prefer if a person just straight up said, I'm done. They don't have to explain why. They don't have to attack me, and tell me what I did wrong. Because no matter what they tell me, I'm going to figure out what I did wrong. Or I'm going to think I figure out what I did wrong. So telling me what I did wrong, that could be more hurtful than just letting me think of what I might have done wrong. Because if it's something that I've heard before, it'll really mess with me. So, and that's what I would tell somebody. Don't tell me what I did wrong. Just say you're done. Just be straight up about it, that you're done. And if I say why, just say, this isn't working for me. I'm sorry. We're done. Goodbye. Some people want all that information of why. And honestly, if somebody asks you why, even if it's painful, you probably should tell them. For the most part. I mean, like I said, it depends on the person. But most people don't want a pretty lie. They don't want the ugly truth, but they don't want a pretty lie. So you have to figure out, okay, what do they want? And the best way to get that answer is to ask them. If you ask them, how should I end it if things don't work out? I mean, and if that's first date conversation, so what? I mean, you are actually enlightened if you talk to them about, if you talk about, hey, everybody's got issues. What are yours? Because I'll tell you mine. Because I don't want to get my hopes up about somebody. If you lay it all out, like, hey, here's my dirt. there's no later on them finding out about it and then you having your freaking heart broke. And the same goes with them. They tell you something straight up, then you know it. And if it's the worst thing about them and you're cool with it, but you always have to look at the fact that, hey, things might end. And you need to know the best way to do that. I can't think of anybody who would say, oh, I want you to string me along. Or I want you to ghost me. Nobody says, I want you to ghost me. No, they want an explanation. Some do. I don't want I might ask for an explanation, but I don't want it. No. Nope. I mean, because I'm not going to buy it anyway. I mean, they're either going to tell me something that really hurts me, or they're going to tell me something that I'm not going to believe. So I would tell them straight up, I'm going to ask, but don't tell me. Just say, I'm just done. Just be clear. And then walk away. And it's probably best to do it on the phone, by text, with me. Because in person, no. Because if I'm hurt, the last thing I want to do is cry in front of somebody. I don't want to rage in front of somebody. I don't want them to see any of that. That is my personal time. So I would much rather prefer text. Some people say that that's horrible. Oh, God, that's horrible to break up by text. For me, that is perfect. That works. I don't have to feel awkward. I can immediately take care of how I feel about that and list all the ways that I should hate them and move on. And they don't have to see any of that. They can just say, I'm done. And then I can just say, okay, have a good life. Send. And then go forward with breaking down. I don't have to worry about getting someplace. Now, granted, if I'm in the middle of Walmart, that sucks. So they should probably start the text with, hey, what are you doing right now? Where are you at? You at home? Yeah, I'm at home. Okay, we're done. I'm at Walmart. Hey, when you get home, let me know. Okay. You should be going through Walmart, not knowing anything's wrong, and then you get home and, bastard. But hey, it's a good thing to get that out of the way, find out how to end things, and know how to not upset the crazy person. Because the crazy people, we know what upsets us. We'll give you past experiences. Yeah, we can list them. Because trust me, we remember. We might have a lot of trouble with a lot of things, but we know every single time an arrow has hit us. But I just wanted to get that out of the way and say, be mindful of the people in your life who are mentally ill and keeping up what they're used to. So don't ever give them more than you can keep up with. And if you do have to pull back or whatever, make sure that they know like what you're up to, like what's going on. Because like I said, they overthink. And if they're not overthinking the right way, oh my God, you're putting them through hell. And when you get back around to them, they might be cool with the idea of hating you. They just might say, you know what? Fuck that motherfucker. Or fuck that bitch. She don't want to hang out with me. I ain't good enough to hang out with her. Fuck that bitch. And then by the time they get there, you realize it's all a big mistake. Then we feel bad about thinking all that. And then we feel bad about feeling bad because we're like, hey, you could have texted a bitch back. Anyway, I could go on a rant about that, but I'm not going to. I'm having a good day, as I am typically having a good day, with a few minor hiccups here and there, but no hiccups today. Feeling good. Pretty sure tomorrow is going to be a good day, because I'm going to tell myself that it'll be a good day. I'm going to have a great night. Hope you do the same. Have a good night.